Hi, I'm Chris Leader. I'm the president of Leaders Edge Training, and I want to welcome you to our monthly tips. This series is going to focus on how to handle client objections. It's one of the topics I get asked about most frequently by my students. I hope you enjoy them, and feel free to pass them on to anybody on your contact management system. The tip this month deals with the objection when a client says to you they'd like to fix it up first before they put it on the market. I'd like you to agree with them, get a real sense of what it is they thought they wanted to do to the property. So ask them a series of open-ended questions to really get to the surface what they expect to do, how much is involved, what type of effort, energy, and finances or resources are going to need to be put to this project. But what you really want to bring to their attention is the investment versus the return. Too many times in my real estate career, I've seen people, homeowners, think by fixing up their house they're going to be able to get more for it. Too often I've seen the cost of the actual investment in terms of the renovation exceed the amount that they could have actually gotten more for the property. So you need to point that out to them, and you need to share with them that they would probably be better off to take a much more aggressive pricing strategy on their property than they would be to go through the exercise of investing more money into a house that they really want to sell. The next thing I would bring to their attention is often the renovations I've seen done on properties don't meet the taste of the next buyer for the property. So often the money that's invested in the property is of no use to the next person. The seller is attempting to get even more money for the property than they would otherwise, and the new buyer that takes over the property in most cases changes the renovations or the decorating that's been done. In a case like this, I'd much rather see you as a realtor recommend to the seller that they offer a decorating allowance or again take on a much more aggressive pricing strategy to make the property more attractive than going through the exercise of redecorating. Too many times I've seen when somebody has said that they were going to take on the project themselves and do a lot of the work. And what's happened in a case like that is the seller actually misses a window of opportunity. Often they talk to us about putting their home on the market, and the small amount of renovations they're going to do is only going to take a few weeks, but a few weeks eventually ends up turning into a couple of months. We've seen this a number of times, and the property actually misses the optimum time for it to come on the market. And by the time the seller finally gets the renovations finished, they find themselves in a much slower market than they would have if they had to put it on the market in the first place. I'd much rather have you convince the seller to give you a much more aggressive price than find them investing money into a property that they may never get back out. And finally, anybody that's ever gone through a renovation knows full well that has seen the movie The Money Pit. All too many times we start out a renovation with a price in mind or amount of money that we want to put into a project. And what do we find out once we start tearing down walls? Things became a lot more expensive and a lot more extensive than what we had planned on. And a small renovation turns into a very expensive undertaking. Again, this is a commodity they're selling, and they need to approach it from this perspective and not find themselves putting more money into something that they won't get their money back from.